Today at home with Miss Joan, I've been getting ready to go to church, and I've been thinking about the hurricanes. It's been on my mind for days, but it seemed like it hit deep this morning in the sense of everything that I've been doing to get myself ready to go to church, from the coffee to the breakfast to the shower, everything, reaching for my clothes and even my beloved Bible, and to think I'm going to get in the car and drive to church. Every one of those things I got to thinking, well, the people that's suffering from the recent hurricanes, they can't reach for that coffee. They can't reach for things that they just normally used to reach for and never thought about it. And it's just been heavy on me how blessed I am with every little item that I've touched this morning. From they don't have a shower that I just took my warm water for granted and looked in the closet for what to wear, and there's no clothes, there's no closet, there's no home. There's just so many levels of loss that people here in the United States have encountered in the last couple of weeks. What I just mentioned was all tangible items, but when you name off all the things it took to get ready to go to church this morning, I've got a church to go to. They may have lost their house of worship. Just so much devastation in many states that the world is turned upside down. And you may be saying, yes, Miss Joan, my world's turned upside down in a different way. We all struggle and face different challenges. It's the hurricane, people, right now that's on all of our hearts. The greatest loss is if they lost a person dear to them, because we've heard about the many, many deaths. And so I'm thinking I need to be more appreciative of the gift of my family. I can reach out and touch them today. I can hug them today. I can go to church and worship with them today. Many people, they can't. They're in total shock. And our prayers is going out to them, but I just felt like I needed to do something from At Home with Miss Joan to reach out and to try to encourage you, and also to talk to my viewers about some things. I want to start out with this word right out of the book, and I think some of the back porch talks that we've had, you see that I really like my little devotion book here of special scriptures. And this one popped into my mind: the Lord is a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows them that trust in him, but he is a stronghold. And I can put my name in that verse, and you can put your name in it, no matter if you're in the hurricane or you've got a different type of storm going on in your life, okay? Be it financial or many, many storms, health crisis. The Lord is a stronghold in the day of trouble for Miss Joan. And you can put your name there. And he is a stronghold to us. And then also, I'll lift up mine eyes unto the hills. I bet you know that verse. From whence comes my help? My help comes from the Lord. And just thinking about the helps that's sending in the name of the Lord towards the storm victims. I just had to sit down and talk to y'all for just a minute. And you're saying, well, Miss Joan, it's bright and sunny where you're at. You probably hadn't never encountered any storms. You're always so bright and cheery on your channel and your cooking. And yes, we've encountered storms. Of course, we don't live in high hurricane areas, but we learned in the last few weeks they can hit in strange places, can't they, that never had one before. But we've had tornadoes through here. A tornado that's affected our family was the Palm Sunday tornado that many of you may know about. Touched our area here in northeast Alabama. A church was having their big Easter program. Around 20 lives was lost then. And preacher and I, we knew all those lives. So my classmate I grew up with 12 years of school with, and friends that we went to school with, and just, oh man. So we had terrible devastation through here. My husband's aunt and uncle, their home was blown away. And also the house next door, which was his uncle's house and family, it blew away. So we know the shock and the horror and the you can't think straight and all that. But we know that God is our refuge, He's our strength, and He's a very present help in time of trouble. A storm comes, a storm happens, and a storm passes. But when you're in the middle of the storm, you don't ever feel that the storm will pass. And I know that we've been many years since then, but I also know there's still broken hearts on the inside from people. I'm going to go back to my first tornado for just a few minutes as I was a kid. And we'd had vacation Bible school that summer. And the verse I learned, Psalms 56:3. What time I am afraid, I will put my trust in thee. Okay, that was I don't know my age exactly. I'm guessing 8 or 9. When the tornado came, we was up towards the barn. It's Mother, and y'all know that watched me, 2 brothers and me that was at home. And I can remember her just coming to get us because we're playing at the barn up there and just grabbing us and heading and running towards the house. You've got to get in the house. This tornado's coming. You know, we didn't have all these radars and all this information back then, but the skies and the signs. And anyway, she was grabbing us and we was running as fast as we could because it was coming. And that childhood verse that I had learned in Bible school rose to the top, and I'm yelling and screaming just as hard as I can. What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. And I called it out to God all the way into the house, okay? So I'm just saying to you, if we've got any of the Bible verses inside of us, it'll rise to the top. And that's what rose to the top for me for that day as a child. Fear, because I was afraid, turns to faith when we trust God. And so that happened to me as a child, and I've always known to cry out to God when I need help. I know that you're thinking, well, Miss Joan, I may not be a believer, but my heart is going out to everybody that's in trouble and it's been affected by all of this tragedy. But I bet you want to do something, because, not just Christians and believers want to do something and want to help. Everybody wants to help. So I wanted to talk to you about how that we all could help, okay? We all can pray and pray for them, pray that they receive everything that they need, and we can give, okay? And you may say, well, you didn't name my agency, you didn't name my church. There's so many churches and so many denominations that's probably local to where you're at that you could go to and maybe give tangible items. I know here in where we live, one of the churches, Pine Grove, they got a tractor trailer, they filled it up, and the surrounding churches that's smaller or whatever couldn't do that, but they sure showed up there and rolled up their sleeves and gave and helped and everything. And so there's so many things where you're at that you could go help or give to. And I was thinking about just the little as much when God is in it. You may not can give much, but a little bit of water or bars of soap or whatever, but you can take it there, and it combined with everybody else, it'll be a great blessing that's going to get taken to these many areas that's affected several states in the storm. Your church probably has their main disaster relief agency. Southern Baptist Convention, I know the Southern Baptist Convention has one, but the other denominations, they have things to give to. One that's dear to our heart and our family is Samaritan's Purse, and they're known worldwide. I bet when I said that name, you said, oh, that's Franklin Graham. That's what I'm talking about. Remember his daddy, evangelist Billy Graham, that's blessed all of our hearts. My daddy's been gone since 78. He's watching him the night before we died. Everybody looks up to Billy Graham, and they have such great confidence in the organization of Samaritan's Purse, and it's run by his son Franklin. And then many out of the family, when you learn more about it, is working in that ministry. So they're on the ground, and it's affected up there where they're based, yet they're on the ground working. It's kind of like, I know it hit things, and we've got troubles in our own organization, but we got to be the hands and feet of Jesus, and we got to hit the ground running, and we got to work and help the people. And they've helped them, and they're in Florida working, and all the places working. So I thought, rather than to call out different denominations and try to track all that because you know where your heart tells you to give. Let me just encourage people to consider Samaritan's Purse, and it's SamaritansPurse.org. My daughter will link just a short video to let you know just a thumbnail sketch of what all the work they're doing. You want to know that when you send your donation, that it's not just going in a stock pot and sitting there and drawing interest. You want to know that my donation is hitting the ground running and helping people. Well, I believe that you can be sure 100% that your donation is hitting the ground running and helping people. Not this tragedy, but future tragedies and past tragedies. They've always been the hands and feet of giving and helping. So think about that. Think about helping where you live if you can. And I'm not asking you to donate there until after that we as a family donated there. I don't believe in saying, would you do this, and us not do it. So as a family, we've donated to them, and I'm just asking you if you consider giving to SamaritansPurse.org. If you want to give and you say, Miss Joan, I can't go to SamaritansPurse.org and give, I don't know how, but you still write checks, or I will do my best, okay, to get the mailing address and post it. I love y'all. I appreciate you watching at home with Miss Joan all the time. I just pray that this video will touch your heart and you'll want to give the way that you can give.
But this was quite devastating.
Our neighbors have a 10-day-old newborn. We were able to hold them up over our heads and passed all the children down, got them into the vehicles so we could evacuate. As we were driving out, we saw trees coming down, just praying that we could go through with our vehicles.
When this hurricane hit, Samaritan's Purse already began posturing equipment, and we were getting ready. But we weren't quite sure it was going to hit here in Boone, North Carolina, our hometown. This is personal to Samaritan's Purse because we have lost so much here. As I look around, we've got a lot of loss. We got a lot of destruction. People that have lost everything. The most important thing we do is to love our neighbor in the name of Jesus Christ and to bring hope where they may not have any hope.
When I saw those orange shirts come onto the property, I really hadn't cried until I saw them step off that truck. The love and the compassion, the care and the concern with everything they did was just amazing. I've never experienced God's love like that.
We're not even crying because of what we lost, but as my mother-in-law says, we're crying because love showed up.
Y'all are literally God's love that showed up on our property.
I know everybody can't do everything, but we all can do something. I love y'all from At Home with Miss Joan.